Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I'm gonna teach you how you can create this rain environment using Blender software. First I'm gonna start by deleting this default cube and adding a plane. Scale it down, then click Shift and D to duplicate. Move the plane over the Z axis. Then click Shift and A and add an icosphere. This icosphere gonna be our rain droplet. Move it over here, then enter edit mode, select this point here and enable proportional editing. Click G and move the point over the Z axis. Now enable X-ray, select those points and do the same things. Repeat the same operation for the lower points until we get a droplet. Then click Shades mode, scale it on the Y axis and on the X axis. Okay. Now we have our rain droplet. After that, select the upper plane, go to the particle tab and add the particles. On the render tab, change halo to object. Then select the object as the icosphere. Go to the velocity tab and choose a value of -5 on the Z axis. Now let's play the animation. Here we have our rain. Okay. Select the plane and increase the number to 20,000. Also decrease the lifetime. Now we can bake our plane. To do that, go to the cache tab and click bake. Okay, you can leave the rain as it is. Select the plane and disable show emitter. Do the same thing for the viewport display. Here we have only our rain that is visible. Now we're gonna give the rain the materials. Go to the shading tab, enter render mode, click new. Delete this principal BSDF and add a glass BSDF. Plug it on the surface and change the IOR value to 1.33. Here we have our transparent droplet. However, we're gonna do a modification to give it more transparency. Select the droplet, go to the material tab. On the setting here, click backface culling and change blend mode to alpha hashed. Change the shadow mode to none and enable those parameters. You can also check the screen space reflection, enable reflection, and increase those parameters. Okay, here we have our rain. Now let's jump to the environment. On the shading tab, go to the world, click Shift A and insert image texture. Click Shift A and insert environment texture. Click Ctrl T to use the node wrangler, then plug the object into the vector. I'm gonna choose an HDRI image that I downloaded before. Okay, now plug the color into the surface and go to the render mode. You can see our HDRI image. I'm gonna bring the camera here adjust it a little bit. Now I want to see only the sky and the building over here. To do that, go to the mapping node and change the Z value. Perfect. For the floor, select the floor, go to the object and create a new material. For my floor, I want to add an asphalt texture that I downloaded before. If you want to use the same image as you can find the link on the description. After downloaded the file, click File, Append. Then go to the file location. Select the Blender file. Go to Material and import the asphalt. To select the asphalt material, only change the material to asphalt. Perfect. Now we have our road. The next step is gonna be adding the rain droplet effect on the road. To do that, we're gonna add a dynamic paint modifier. Go to the Physics tab and choose Dynamic Paint. For the rain droplet, select the type to brush, then add a brush. Choose a white color here, and on the source, change Mesh Volume to Particle System. Then select the particle system. OK. Then select the floor, click Shift and D to duplicate, and go to the Shading tab. Change the asphalt to Material 1. I want my second floor to be a transparent floor. OK, on the Physics tab here, add a dynamic paint and leave the type to canvas. Add a canvas. On the surface type, change it to waves. Select Open Borders. Then change the time scale to 0.8 and the damping to 0.08. Decrease the radius value to 0.6. And enable anti-aliasing and subsurface, change it to 4. Let's play the animation now. As you can see, nothing is happening yet. In order to see the effect of the rain droplet, select the plane, enter Edit Mode, then right-click and choose Subdivide. On the Subdivide tab, select the number of cuts of 100. Then click Subdivide again and select the number of 1. OK. Exit Edit Mode and play the animation. Now you can see the rain droplets are clearly visible here. However, we're gonna add some more details to the floor in order to look as we saw it in the final render. To do that, let's hide this plane, select the asphalt, then add a dynamic paint. Choose the canvas type. On the format here, change it to image sequence and the resolution of 1028 and check the anti-aliasing. Here on the effect, enable shrink, then select a speed of 0.6. On the initial color, choose a color and we're gonna select a black color. Then go to the output, make sure that paint map is enabled and you can bake our image sequence. Select the location and add new folder and name it spread rain. Click accept, then bake our image sequence. Once the bake is done, go to the asphalt material, click Shift and A on the texture tab, select image sequence. Go to the file location of our bake image and select all those images. After that, enable cyclic and auto refresh. Then plug the color on the second socket of the mix RGB. Here you can see the effect of our rain. However, this impact is big. So in order to change it, we're gonna do some changes on dynamic paint. Select the rain droplet, then on the effect solid, change it to 0.06. Okay. Now select the asphalt floor, go to the physics modifier and bake the image sequence again. Once the bake is done, just open the image and you can see that the dots are small this time. Just select everything and click open image. Now if we play, you can see that we have small dots. Okay. Now we're gonna add another surface modifier for the asphalt floor. Click surface, enable anti-aliasing, change vertex to image sequence, and also change the resolution to 1028. Make sure that the dry is enabled and change the time to 100. Then select spread and change the speed to 0.6. On the effect here, select spread, then change the speed to 0.08. Okay. Then on the output, select the UV map, create new folder and name it rain wet. Now let's bake the image. Now the bake is done and we're gonna add our images. Select the image sequence, click Shift D to duplicate, then open image and import our images. Rain wet. Okay, disable cyclic and auto refresh. I'm gonna bring it here. Select this mix RGB and duplicate it. Also duplicate it here. Change mix to multiply. Then plug the second image sequence. Click Shift and A and add an invert node. Put it over here. After that, insert a color ramp and put it between the invert node. Then move the white color just here. You can see that the floor remains wet even after the animation ends. So to fix that, just click auto refresh. Let's play the animation now. See that our floor becomes wet, the animation goes on. Now that we have our wet floor, the final step is gonna be adding the puddles. To do that, select the transparent plane and hide it. Go to the material and add glossy BSDF. After that, add a diffuse BSDF. Then add a mix shader. Okay, plug the diffuse BSDF here and the glossy BSDF here. Now add a noise texture. And to control the effect of the noise texture, we're gonna add a color ramp. Okay, let's plug everything here. Then we're gonna add a Fresnel node. Also, I'm gonna add a mix RGB. Plug the factor of the Fresnel into the color 1, then change the color 2 to the black color. After that, plug the color of the mix RGB into the factor of the mix shader. Then plug the color ramp into the diffuse BSDF, the glossy BSDF, and the factor of the mix RGB. After that, I'm gonna duplicate this mix shader here and plug everything together here. For the diffuse BSDF, increase the roughness to the maximum value, and for the glossy, choose a value of 0.035. Okay. Now, let's change the black color of the noise texture here and increase the white color just like that. Then I'm gonna invert those nodes. Here we have our puddles. And if you play the animation, you can see that we have a realistic puddles that reflects light. To give our rain more realistic look, go to the layout tab. On the keyframe editor, select the frame 115. Then select our transparent floor and click I, insert location. Go to the frame 140. Move the plane over the Z-axis until it is not visible. Then insert location again. Now if we play the animation from the beginning, you can see that the rain starts by spreading over the floor. The floor becomes then wet. After that, there is the puddles formation here, which give it the more realistic look. The last thing that I did is adding the trees and the rock for my scene. For the trees, I downloaded them from the Sketchfab sites. You can find the link on the description. However, for the rocks, I just added them using Blender. Click Shift and A and go to Rock Generator. After that, play with the X and the Y scale to create a random rock. Now, go to the Shading tab, create a new material. I started by changing the color. I chose it orange-red color. Then I add a noise texture. Change the scale to a value of 35. Increase the details. Then plug the factor into the roughness. Click Ctrl T to use the node wrangler and plug the object into the vector. After that, move the mapping node and the texture coordinate here and add a Musgrave texture. Plug it here. Change the scale to 1.2, increase the details, decrease the dimension to 0.3, and the lacunarity to 0.5. Also change the distortion to 18. Now I'm gonna add some bump to it. To do that, click Shift A and add a bump nodes. Plug the normal to the normal of the principal BSDF and the factor into the height. Now our rock look more realistic. So that's it for today's video. If you like my video tutorial, please leave a comment, push the like button for me, and subscribe to my channel to help me out to do more content. Thank you.